Welcome to the podcast, Accounting, We Go Beyond the Numbers, from Ross Bueller Falk, a CPA and business advisory firm. I'm Kay Wagner, your host for this podcast series. You'll receive great business advice here, including accounting, tax tips, and a whole lot more that will help you grow your business. Here we go. I'm with Sean Smith today, and he's with Ross Bueller Falk, otherwise known as RBF, a CPA firm and also a business advisory firm. Glad to have you on the line today, Sean. Good to talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. So give us a little background. Tell us about your education, and what we're really looking at today to hear from you is, as someone who's relatively new in accounting, when you look back in terms of when you looked at accounting as a career, what were your thoughts then, and when did you first know that you liked numbers, that you actually wanted to do this?
Well, I first knew that I liked numbers when they started showing up on my paychecks. Actually, my undergrad education was in criminal justice. I graduated from York College of Pennsylvania in 2006, but I did take one intro accounting course and actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Appealing thing about accounting and bookkeeping is that the numbers, when you do everything right, they balance, and it's like solving a puzzle. And I remembered that years down the road when I was already in the workforce and looking for a career change. I decided on accounting because, again, I enjoyed what I had already learned of it, and I knew that once you have a CPA license, you're instantly marketable anywhere in the nation, in any industry, whether it's public or private. And that's kind of what made up my mind for me. So I decided to study. Again, I was already in the workforce, so I studied with an online master's program, got my master's in accounting, and then from there went and passed all the sections of the CPA exam because that just makes you a lot more marketable when you're going for interviews.
So that sounds like a good start to your journey, actually. A little bit of a switch from criminal justice, but a good path to take. And so you got your master's, and then you passed and did all your CPA work. When you started looking at the industry, at the accounting industry, what did you encounter in that process?
There are a lot of conflicting reports out there about what you should expect from your first few years in a public accounting firm. A lot of the information that you get online is really geared towards your big four firms, your international firms. And you're told to expect 80-plus hour weeks during busy season and to have little to no time for yourself and your family, and that's just sort of how you pay your dues in the first couple of years. And then most people, it's like a revolving door at the lower levels. Most people who start their careers there will leave after the first couple of years. I was never interested in a Big Four position because, well, there are two reasons. First of all, I already had, a wife and a home to take care of. And second of all, I knew that I wanted to live in Lancaster, in Lancaster City, and get a job at a smaller local or regional firm in Lancaster County. So I kind of had an idea where I wanted to go and what I wanted to be doing. But beyond that, honestly, I just looked on the PICPA's website and applied to every single CPA firm in the county.
Well, that's good. In talking to your peers, the information that you got about the 80-hour weeks and that kind of stuff, does that really prove out? Is that what happens in the big four?
In the Big Four, yeah, it's close to the truth.
Okay.
But in a small, local or regional firm, there's considerably more flexibility.
All right, great. So you're applying to all these accounting firms, and you get connected with RBF somehow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what did you, in your initial experience with them in the interview process, as you started to look at them as a potential employer, what did you see that you liked?
I liked the atmosphere that was generated by the people that I met during the interview process. Everybody from Lisa, our office manager, to Patrick and Larry, our audit and tax partner at the time, respectively, who actually interviewed me. Everybody was just very, very personable, down to earth, and willing to have a conversational interview rather than interrogation, which I think makes a lot of folks nervous, especially very recent graduates. And I felt like this is a place where my input and my experiences will be valued, and so far that has definitely been the case. They also appreciated my sense of humor, which that helps a lot too, because you're going to be working with these people day in and day out, and if you can't make each other laugh, you're going to have a difficult time.
Yeah, exactly, especially during tax time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you came into RBF, and those initial impressions that you have proved out. In the years that you've been there, how have things changed in the firm, in the industry, in just terms of your overall experience?
Not a lot has changed day to day. There's been some normal turnover of personnel, some promotions, and some folks have moved on, but our turnover ratio is actually slightly lower than the industry average from what I've seen, which is great because there's a consistent crew that I work with every day. One major change has been in the technology sector. We did migrate to a cloud-based computing program, which enables me, anywhere I have a computer with an internet connection, I can access the same desktop that I would be accessing from my desk at the office. So if you are at the client, if you're working from home, if you're on vacation and you need to respond to something quickly, then you have the ability to do that. That's probably been the number one change. And the second change would be the flexible work schedule. When I arrived here, the work schedule was already pretty flexible, but with this new ability to work from home more efficiently, it's become even more so, which I think is a great retention tool for staff who are, have concerns about their life-work balance that enables us to, spend a good bit more time with our families.
Right. Yeah, I understand that's a really highly valued part of your work day there, or part of the culture there, actually. Sean, what are your aspirations for your career as you look into the future? What do you hope to be doing down the road?
Well, at RBF, I can definitely see myself in a partner role, certainly within the next decade. Not that I'm locked into that career trajectory, but that's what I'm on target for now, at least in my own mind. But it's a place where if you are willing to put in the work, if you're skilled, and you take an interest in the development of the firm as a whole, those opportunities will be there for you.
Mhm. Good. That sounds great.
Currently, I'm in the audit and attest department, but as time goes on, I will be doing a little bit more work with the consulting and the tax arms of our firm. Some folks will start out in one specific area, as I did, and then branch out to a certain extent into other aspects of public accounting, whereas others will start out as more generalists and then develop a focus, in either audit, consulting, or tax.
Mhm. Okay, good. What advice would you give to someone who's just coming out of school, just going into the job market, looking at accounting, whether they're still in school or coming out of school and wanting to get into accounting? What kind of advice would you give to them?
Well, first and foremost, get comfortable with the idea of leaving the house and talking to strangers. The importance of networking really can't be overstated, because especially in a small city like Lancaster, it really is who you know that can help you to get a job or get a job more quickly. I was very, very fortunate to find a job as quickly as I did, being an outsider from Jersey. But it's certainly feasible in this environment that if you've spoken to enough people in the community, you might know who's about to interview you before the interview even begins. That's really the goal. Getting out there and networking, whether informally or formally through groups like Lancaster Young Professionals or the Lancaster Chamber, gives you the opportunity to learn what jobs are out there that you might be interested in. And it also allows you to kind of discuss with folks ahead of time what they might be looking for and what might be a good fit. Second of all, your resume and your cover letter. Talk to your career advisor or your professors, or if you're already out of school, a trusted friend who's already been in the business community for a while. Have them look over your resume, make sure it's in good shape, and make sure it's up to date, and format it appropriately for whatever position you're going for. I would also recommend you include a cover letter whether one is requested or not, because that gives you the opportunity to show that you have written communication skills, which is key. Social media kind of ties into that. Keep your LinkedIn profile, first of all, if you don't have one, get one, and keep it up to date as sort of a virtual resume that you can pull up at any time. Facebook, make sure it's clean. That's all I'll say about that. Police your Facebook. Finally, when you actually do get to an interview, remember that, as I alluded to before my experience here, an interview should be just a conversation between two professionals. And you have as much to offer your potential employer as they have to offer you. So remember that and try to ask them as many questions as they're asking you. You're just two professionals trying to determine if you're a good fit for one another.
That's great advice, Sean. I think people will really appreciate that. So in closing, I think that the accounting world is better off to have you in it. I know that RBF, all the folks at RBF love working with you. And so thank you so much for your time, for your insight, and for being on the line with us today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
That's it for today, folks. Visit rbfco.com, that's rbfco.com, for more information on accounting that goes beyond the numbers. This is your host, Kay Wagner, for Ross Bueller Fox. Our next episode is coming soon. Don't miss it.